I gotta say, I didn't expect that my previous video on fan disservice would go viral. So I really want to thank from the bottom of my heart to the people that shared it around and posted it on various social media, because I managed to get a lot of toxic comments. A lot of toxic people in the comment section, which justified the need for the existence of that video. Those comments have emboldened me to make a part 2 for that video. So if you can share this one around as well, exactly in the same place where you shared the previous one, I'd be very thankful, because you are going to do a great service to the gaming community. The gaming community needs to have this radical and very progressive message nowadays that shakes a little bit at the foundation of the gaming culture, especially the one in the West. So let's address first of what I said in the video. In the video, I pointed out that in the West, you notice that a lot of female characters look as if they're being taken behind the corner by the game developers and beaten with an ugly stick. And this happens once, it happens twice, it happens 3 times, and you notice a pattern. I mean, once it can happen, twice it's a coincidence, but 3 times it's enemy action. So a person needs to ask the question, why do they do this? Why is this a thing? Now, the very progressive and very feminist game developer who made Alloy for Horizon Zero Dawn has claimed in an interview that the reason the woman they hired to do the motion capture for the video game character looks nothing like the video game character is because, according to him, she had such a feminine face that she looked as if she would cry if she broke a nail. So she didn't look heroic enough to him. So that is why the character in the video game looks nothing like the actress. So that was my essence. It's like, how many game developers think like this? How many game developers look at actual women that they see on the street and they see, you know what? We like more women in video games, but they just don't look the part. We need to inject them with testosterone. We need to take their head and put them in the testosterone bucket to go like, and then when we pull them out, they look like an actual heroine. Because actually, if you just take like how women look like in the world, they don't fit that power fantasy that the video game developers have. And to this, a lot of very progressive, a lot of very well-thought individuals have commented on the section calling me an incel. And I'm like, look, you twat. First of all, I'm happily married. I'm already taken. So I know like some of you are very big on the LGBT and whatnot, and you may want to ask me out for a date. You might think like, hey, V is free and all, and maybe we can ask me out. I would love to. I think you're the best person in the world because you're smart enough to watch my videos, but I gotta say I'm already taken, so I can't, all right? But secondly, my point is that all these people, they believe that individuals like me, if we go into an art museum where we see the feminine form drawn by Renaissance painters, we whoop out our cock and we start masturbating. And this is coming from the same community, the same people that would never say anything negative about a lady doing a Twitch stream. And by the way, I don't say anything negative about them as well. I think that's really good for them. That's powerful capitalism, very empowering. But you have like ladies who put on makeup, get cosmetic surgery, and then use filters and all of this, right? In order to show a little bit of the cleavage on Twitch. And those are probably the same fans that are coming on my channel and complaining that I say, hey, you know what, like maybe video game characters should also look a little bit like the Twitch girls. You know, because I'm noticing like art around me is usually inspired from nature, and nature seems to be very beautiful on Twitch. Can we have some of that into video games? Apparently it sells. You know, apparently it sells. Because let's face it, most of the story is shit nowadays in video games. So if the story is shit, at least I can have something nice to behold while I'm playing the game. At least I can look at something ushi-kushi, as the Japanese like to say it. Man, it's really funny when China itself is managing to do better art than the Westerners nowadays. But you know, like that's a conversation for another time. I don't even want to get into that. What I want to get into that today is that now we finally have another piece of the puzzle. Like, why is it that game developers in companies are constantly making women desexualized? And what I mean desexualized, not that they're dressing them up. Okay, like I know what I said earlier, but I don't want all the female characters to look identical like the Twitch streamers. No, I want them a little bit dressed if that's okay. You know, like I'm fine with it. There's wiggle room. There is wiggle room to be had. But why is it that all of them are looking as if they're androgynous? All right, broad shoulders, strong jawlines, short hair, muscular, and it's fine. You know, it's fine if it happens in one game, if it happens in 2 games, if it happens in 3 games. But like at one point you have to ask, it's like, okay, why is it? What are the odds? What are the chances that literally all the artists nowadays, when they look at women, they see something like this? So I gotta ask the question, and now apparently we are getting the answer. We're getting the answer from a developer. And by the way, like, please don't contact him. I know about him from a female YouTuber. I guess she must be an incel as well. I guess even she must be an incel because she doesn't like the way women are being portrayed in video games either. Right? It's not about sexualizing. It's about beauty. Like, if you ever heard the expression feminine beauty, it's because it is. Like, even other women can look at a beautiful lady and say, yeah, you know what, like, this is a good painting. This is something nice. I love what the artist did there. Just like I can look at a Greek statue and I can say, yeah, you know, the sculpture really did a good thing. Imagine if all the video games would have men looking like me. Huh? It would probably scar your retina for life, I know. But, you know, it's fine. Like, I'm not saying that video games can't have, you know, more androgynous women here and there. But when all of them look like this and they're all coming from the West, I think we can at least ask the question, why? Why is this a thing? So apparently the developer is lecturing fellow men in the game dev, especially those just now entering the industry. And by the way, I pity you. There's a lot of things you may run into that aren't directly harmful to people in the same way as sexual harassment, but they still contribute to hostile environments and harm. Okay? Understand that the meme is true now. Tits are harmful. Alright? Like, and not just boobs in real life. No. There are people in the world, usually found in my comment section on the previous video, that legitimately think, like, unironically, that if you look at a virtual boobie, you're causing harm in the world. Okay? Like, no, seriously, this is how self-important these people are. Alright? Like, they legitimately think that they are preventing harm in the world. That they are the beacons of light. They are like, when Batman shows up to stop a crime, that's them. That's them in their reality, right? Like, by telling people like me to shut the fuck up, by harassing game developers, by harassing Japanese artists on Twitter, they are preventing harm. My God, like, what would we do without these people? So apparently there's a strong chance I'm going to get flack for saying this publicly. So I like at least that the fact that they have self-awareness, like they know that what they're doing is highly unpopular. But it's worth bringing up because it's an example of how small things contribute to building environments that are hostile to women and all kinds of marginalized people in game development. So not women and marginalized people in general. No, just in game development. Why the fuck are you marginalizing people in game development, you sick fuck? Okay, you're the one working in the industry. I'm not marginalizing anyone. You're the one in the industry telling me you're marginalizing people. The industry that's all about protected classes and groups. I mean, look at E3. You know what? Eventually on E3 they talk about video games, but like 80% of the time they talk about politics and how progressive they are. And you're telling me that these companies that are so progressive are still marginalizing people? I don't believe you. Get the fuck out. When I was on the latest Ratchet & Clank game, there was an incredibly heated discussion that happened between the game director, art director, the lead writer, the lead character, and myself. So it was a heated discussion. Like, even the artists are having it enough with these people. Alright? Like, even the artists are being fed up with people like this guy. So they're talking about Rivet, the female lead. Note that 3 of the people above, including myself, are no longer at the company. I'm not going to tag them because they're adults. I trust to comment if they feel it's appropriate. The discussion or argument really was basically about whether we should make Rivet look more stereotypically feminine looking, as in, should she have wider hips, visible breasts, and other physical traits we normally associate with cartoony women. The argument was like this. The game director and art director wanted her to be visibly, fairly stereotypically feminine looking, and the lead writer, the lead character, and I wanted to keep her as is, This is where things got into the territory that men like myself in game dev need to pay really fucking close attention, okay? Like, this is where they're saving the world. This is where they are being the champions of justice. Like, without them, society would collapse. Without them, we would be like China, I suppose. The lead writer was a woman. The lead character was a trans person at the time, and they had not transitioned. What the fuck does this even matter, by the way? Like, they are the ones making the product. Like, they're supposed to make the product for the consumers, not for themselves. Like, if you want to make a product for yourself, you know, great. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. But you want to make a product to sell it to other people. So shouldn't you care what the other people have to say? I'm just curious, you know, like, I don't understand how these people do business in 2021. It seems like Japan actually cares about what the consumer thinks. No, these people are like what the developers think. On these issues, by the way, because it's not like this is just the art style. So instead of thinking like what art style would sell, it's like what art style would not offend us. Okay, fine, you know, so everyone in the discussion was a white cis male. By the way, just out of curiosity, have you ever heard the term black cis male or Asian cis male? Because I just haven't. You know, it's really weird. It's usually like white cis male, just like make a new word for it so that I don't have to use 3 words instead of 1. Because I know what you mean. You mean the devil. You know, everyone in the discussion was a devil. That's literally what it meant. They were sinful. They were evil people. They were heretics. Huh? At the time of the argument, there were 2 women and 1 female presenting trans person in the team. This is how these people think. They think in boxes, okay? Like, they're not a human being. They're not Sarah. They're not John. They're not Bob. No, like, they're women, and this one was a female presenting trans person, and you know all about the context now. You know, just for, I don't know shit. I don't even care. It's like you're telling me one was 7 foot, and one was 4 foot, and one of them had blue eyes. And like, why are you mentioning these trivialities? You're not doing statistics. You're not doing polling. You're not doing anything. I know you're going to post in the comment section that this video is gross. Huh? It's gross. Because you can't articulate why. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're now in the comment section just saying, oh, this is the wrong side of YouTube. Huh? But you can't articulate why it's the wrong side. Now can you? Because I make it common sense and it's upsetting you. The trans person had lived their life up to that point as a woman and had lived the experience thereof. Everyone else in the team was a man. So 2/3 of the women on the team, as well as 1 cis white male, me, were for telling the art director and game lead that Rivet should not, as an alien space fox, have wide hips and titties. We believe that 1, it went against the message of the game, which is that anyone can be a hero regardless of how they look. Well, apparently not anyone can be a hero, okay? As long as they have tits, they can't be a hero. As long as they have wide hips, they can't be a hero. Only if they look like the stereotypical social justice character can they be a hero. You don't need to be stereotypically feminine to be a woman. Okay, no one is saying that. No one is saying you need to be stereotypically feminine to be a woman. But what people are asking is, aren't you just literally creating the opposite stereotype? Because when I look at a piece of art, I can tell you when it's made. Okay? Like if I look at a game, I can tell you whether it's made in the West or whether it's made in Japan. It's literally getting to that point. You know, you're breaking stereotypes by creating new stereotypes. Why not subvert my expectation and come up with something different for a change? Rivet is a fucking alien space fox just like Ratchet. I don't get this argument. It's like, okay, she's an alien space fox. It's like, okay, so what? You know, Rogue the Bat is an alien, I guess, like, space bat. You know, she can still look like that. I mean, it's a fucking cartoon. You can make it look whatever you want. But the problem is that you legitimately think that if she looks feminine, it's harmful. You have a war against femininity for some reason, and I don't understand why. Why are you waging a war against the feminine body? Huh? Because I don't mind. You know, like, if the game is good, I'll play it. You know, all I'm saying is that if you have boobies in the game, it's like clickbait. Like, why do you think a lot of YouTubers have very skimpily clad pictures in their thumbnail? Because it's clickbait. You know, people click on it. I want your game to be successful, you moron. I want you to sell it so you can have a sequel, right? Now, if you don't want to use clickbait, my God, you best have the best writing team in the universe to compensate for it. Because there are games that don't have, like, you know, ushkushi ladies on the box. But maybe you have like some really talented writers. Maybe the gameplay is mind-blowing. I mean, if you're that confident, sure, do whatever you want. But what I am trying to say is that you have these individuals that are not only, like making up reasons for being ashamed of their ideology, because that's what they are. They are ashamed of their ideology. Like, they're ashamed to say that they think that the feminine body is harmful. They're literally ashamed. So they have to come up with other reasons. Oh, well, she's a space bat. Oh, well, this. Oh, well, da. Why are you doing this? Just come out and say it. You hate the feminine form. The argument had been going on for about half an hour before I finally pulled one of the framed Ratchet and Clank posters down from the wall, put it in front of the leads and told them to look at the damn thing and tell me how much Ratchet looked like a human man. It's got 2 legs, it's got 2 feet, it's talking, it's anthropomorphized. A lot of furries are probably drawing art of Ratchet right now in various positions that you would probably not agree with. I can't even believe like they're being this disingenuous, right? Because they're not really caring about the character and how people will receive it. No, they're literally thinking we can't be stereotypical because that's doing harm. They think that Michelangelo and Raffaello, when they were doing their art, they were doing harm to the world. And by the way, look at this. Something as simple as putting titties on a space rat can harm people. Those people maybe should seek professional help. All right? Because I'm telling you, if they're harmed from that, they're going to go outside, poopsikins. They might have to go to a club. They might have to see some real people. And those real people outside look better than the ones in your game. They look stereotypical from your comparison. And not only that, heaven forbid they click on Twitch. I mean, those people that get harmed from seeing space titties, they're going to have a meltdown if they ever click on Twitch and they go there. Right, so that's why I'm upset, right? Is that this argument, and this is the way of thinking of the game developers and fans, don't have a backbone to speak out. Speak out! Hey, if you can't speak out, I know it sounds a little bit selfish of me, but please share this video. Please share it. Share it on social media. Share it on Reddit. I want people to be exposed to this. Like, they need to start hearing that there are consumers out there that do not like this. It's fine if one game is being designed with androgynous women. It's fine if 2 games are. But when all the games are, I think we need to start the conversation and ask why that is. Why are you doing this? For whom are you doing this? And apparently, in the leak interview from The Last of Us, we got a similar statement. It's like, oh, it's upsetting to trans people. I have high doubts that's the case. I got trans people that are supporting me on Patreon. I got trans people that are supporting me on Subscribestar. They don't have a problem with this. Where are your studies? Where are your polls? Who says this? Maybe it's just like a fringe community in California where they legitimately believe that this is the case. Like they have entered an echo chamber where they can't even acknowledge that different opinions exist, and they're talking about this with each other. And they came to the conclusion that, yeah, like trans people. Newsflash, they're not. Okay? I know it's weird, but trans people are people too. And they go outside. They go outside, they see other human beings, they watch television, they also play Japanese games, they also watch anime, they also play Chinese games, and they get exposed to all sorts of female shapes and sizes. It is very bizarre that I even have to make this video, alright? But I'm going to make it because no one else does. I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting myself out there. Bleh. My God, I feel like a rebel. I feel like I've done something very naughty for talking about this. Which, by the way, another female YouTuber also talks about it. And this guy, when the female YouTuber calls him out, blocks her. This is like the joke from communism, where they were, back when communism was in Romania, they would say, scientists all agree that socialism is the best economic system on earth. And the scientists that disagreed, they got fired. So that scientists all believe, right? That's how you have consensus. So maybe this is, like what this guy is doing. Like, every single woman that disagrees with him, he blocks her. Every single trans person that disagrees with him, they get blocked. And then it's like, oh, well, all the trans people and all the women are saying what I think they're saying, what I agree with. It just so happens that, you know, it's like a religious person that diffuse everyone until like he's only part with his congregation and he's like, oh, all the people agree with me. Yeah, because you blocked everyone that disagrees. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the comment section and I'll be doing a live stream after this. Hopefully this video was entertaining. No, seriously, like please, like I'm really asking you. I normally don't ask people to share my videos. But like this particular one, I legitimately wanted to go out there to hammer it into the brains of people, that is so hypocritical of them to go on Twitch and watch all those ladies and you know, shut down anyone that comments, oh, the quartering said something negative about lingerie and cosplay, off with his head. But then like they also go to the video games and they're acting like the Puritan Christians with the measurements to see the skirt of ladies in video games, to see if they're not stereotypical. Huh? Isn't that interesting? Let me know what you guys think and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.